Hey, good morning, sixth graders. This is your video for April 21st. This is a Tuesday, and I am going to be doing a couple different things with you for this lesson. So before we get started, a couple things to be thinking about, and that is each day when I give these videos, I am putting underneath that link in the email what you should be doing for that day. So technically it is always due the next day because I'm going to give you the answers the next day on the whole. So you're going to want to get that work done that day after you watch the video. But because I don't check in with you until Thursday, that's when I'm going to see these papers when you hold them up on Zoom on Thursday. So I know there's sometimes a little confusion about that, but this, for your optimal learning and for you to really, I think, get the most out of this, is you need to watch the video, and then right after you watch the video, you need to do the work, the math work that's assigned for that day. Work through it, and then the following day when you get those answers, you go back and check your work, and then try to figure out, okay, what went wrong, what did I do right? If you've missed things, you need to then go back and try to figure out, why did I miss that? So that is going to help you learn this information and understand what you're learning and what you're getting and what you're not. But on Thursdays, that's when I need to see the work. So that's why I'm putting in the emails. These are all due Thursday, but technically, if we were in school and I was with you every day, these would be due the next day. So that, make it your goal to do the videos every day and then do the work. This is going to take a lot of just self-control and that inner motivation to stay up on this, because you're not having to check it with me that next day, but that would really be beneficial. Okay, so let's get started, and I'm going to put up on the board, these are a little harder to just give you quick answers, so I'm going to be writing them up on the board, the answers to pages 321 and 322. We did questions 6 through 7, then you did 8, and then you did 10 through 13. So I'm going to start with number 6. I'm going to put up on the board what your frequency table should have looked like. Then from that, I'm going to show you how to find a mean, a median, and a mode from that table. Now, I want you to really pay attention, because today's work is going to stay within these pages. And you are going to be doing a little extra for me on a question where you're going to be creating, I believe it's a frequency table and a dot plot. And then I want you to go and find the median, the mean, and the mode from that information. Okay, so let me show you what you should have had for number 6. Okay, it was asking you on number 6, days in each month. Okay, so that was our title. So up at the top, you'd always want to title your chart, days of the month. Okay, so then here we go on this column right here, we would have the days. Okay, here we're going to have our tallies, and here we're going to have frequencies. Okay, so we come back, and these were the days that it gave us. It gave us 28, it gave us 30, and it gave us 31. Now, those were the days that we saw. Okay, now, every time we saw 28, we needed to give ourselves a tally. So we had 1 for 28, that would be 1 frequency. Okay, for 30, you should have had 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, that gave us 4 frequencies. And for 31, you should have had 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 there. Now, there's your frequency table. Okay, if I said from this table, you need to find the mean, the average, the mode, or let's go median, the middle number, and then you need to find the mode. Well, we can easily say the mode right now, it's 31. It had the most, the frequency was 7, so we could say that's easy, that was 31. This right here was our mode. Okay, but what would be a middle number, and what would be the mean? Well, if we're going to find that, this is how we could do it. We're going to take 28. Okay, there were the data for 28, there was 1 of them. 1 times 28. Then there was 1, 2, 3, 4 30s. So I would put 4 30s, because there were 4 of them. Now there are 7 31s, so there I'm going to put 7 of those. 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so now I have 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I should have 12 pieces of data, because there's 12 in that column for frequency. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so now if I add those all up, which I've already done for you, you would get 365. So we get 365 when we add all our numbers. Then we're going to divide that by 12, because that's how many frequencies, that's how many pieces of data we had. And what would we get if we took 365 and divided by 12? We should have come up with, I believe it's 30.4, if I can read my writing here. So the mean would be 30.4. If we're going to average that, we could average that to 30. But 30.4 to be direct and precise. Okay, so now let's find the median. Let's find the middle number. Well, we know that we had 12 pieces, right? We have 12 pieces of data, so we know that there's going to be, that's even, so there's not going to be a perfect middle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, that's our middle right there, right? Because we have 6 on this side, we have 6 on this side. Well, it's been between 31 and 31. So we don't have to average that. Median, 31, okay? So we know our median is 31, we know our mean would be 30.4, and we know our mode, the most, was 31. So if we were going to need to find this from this frequency table, that's how we would do that. Okay, because I'm going to want you to do that here pretty soon. So we'll have a couple examples of this. One from a frequency table, one from a dot plot. Okay, so now let's go on to our second one, number 7. I'm going to erase this. Obviously, if there's something you need to look at a little bit, for a little bit longer, you can always pause the video. But let's go to the next one. Okay, so that was number 6. Let's go to number 7. On number 7, you were supposed to find another frequency table for the types of cars. Okay, so, and then they want you to say, okay, what was the mode? Okay, so up here, you could title it, I believe, probably something that would make sense. It said vehicles in a parking lot. So you can maybe title it that way, vehicles in a parking lot. Now, here we're going to put types of cars. Okay, so this is, and we could up here just go vehicles, and maybe put that right up there at the top. Okay, so now let's put our types of cars. Okay, so we had, we'll put up here tally, and we'll put frequency. Okay, so there's our columns. Now, let's go through and put our types of cars. There was a compact we saw, a midsize, we came upon an SUV, a wagon, and a pickup. Okay, so there's our types of cars. Now, every time we saw a compact, we should have put down 4 tally marks. Frequency, 4. Okay, midsize, 3. 1, 2, 3. Frequency, 3. Okay, SUV, 2. 1, 2. Frequency, 2. Okay, wagon, 1. Frequency, 1. Okay, pickup, if I did this correctly, 2, 2. Okay, now we're not going to find a mean, a median, and a median, but they did ask us what was the mode. Well, we can easily find that. What had the highest frequency? The compact cars. So the mode would be compact. Now, if we want to see how many data pieces we have, we could just add up our frequency. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We have 12 pieces of data. Okay, so we can just count up that frequency side there. That's the second one. So that was number 8. That was, that was number 7. That was finding another frequency table, this time types of cars. Okay, let's erase that one. Now, let's go to the next one. The next one, you were to do a dot plot. Okay, now, it said here on number 8, lengths of baseball bats. This is in inches, and it wants you to set it up using a dot plot. Okay, so now let's look at that. And up here we could say, title this, we could say baseball bat lengths. Okay, so there we go. Now, down here, we're going to put the numbers that we saw, and we're going to put what we're doing here. This is in inches. Okay, so this is inches. There was a 28 we came upon, a 29, a 30, a 31, and a 32. Okay, now, there's the numbers, there's the ones that we saw through in that list. Okay, every time we saw 28, we would have given ourselves a dot. So you should have had 2 dots for 28. Every time you saw 29, you should have given a dot. There should be 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, every time you saw 30, you should have given a dot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Every time you saw 31, there was 1. 32, there was 1. Okay, now there's our dot plot. Remember, dot, because you're going to put dots down, so that's kind of easy to remember the title of that. And now if we needed to find, let's say, a mean, a median, the middle number, and a mode. Let's say we want to just gather a little more information on this. Okay, well, the mode, remember, is pretty easy to find. What would have the most dots? 30. So mode would be 30. Now, if we're going to find a mean, okay, we're gonna lay out our data here, and I'm just gonna do it in order like I did that last one, because then it's gonna be easy then to go ahead and find the median. Okay, so 28, we had 2 of those, so we'd go 28, 28. There were 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I would go 29 4 times. Okay, 30, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm gonna go 5 of those. Okay, 131 and 132. Okay, so now I've laid out my data. And we just did order from least to greatest, so we can go ahead and then find our median too. Now, if I'm finding a mean, I'm going to add up all of these numbers. I would probably, if I can't use a calculator right, I would probably add those 2 up, put the number down there, add 1, 2, 3, 4, do 4 of those, add it up, maybe something like that, 30, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. Okay, I've already done it though, and it comes up to 385. Okay, so there's our 385. Now we have to add up how many pieces of data we had, and I believe we had 13. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yeah, 13 pieces of data. Okay, so there we're going to take 385 and we're going to divide it by 13. If we do that, and we do it correctly, we should come up with 29.6. So 29.6, so not far off the mode there. Now let's find a middle number. Now remember, there's 13 pieces of data. That means there's going to be a perfect middle this time because that's odd. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, there's a perfect middle. So we know that 30 then is our median. Okay, so we found a mean, a median, and a mode from our dot plot. And hopefully, just doing this again, we did it with our frequency table, now we're doing with our dot plot. This just helps you understand how to do this. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and erase this and then give you the answers to those ranges. Okay, so range, remember going back, a range is finding the difference in your data. You need to take your greatest data and subtract your least from it, and you're going to find your range. Okay, so on number 10, I believe it was asking us about something with finding the range of the ages of our presidents. Okay, so you should have had 68 minus the 51, so a range of 17 years. So that would have been your answer. Okay, number 11, now we're finding a range of heights of trees. Okay, so 3.5 would have been your greatest. You subtract from that your least, 1.8, and you should have come up with 1.7, and this was meters. Okay, number 12. It looked like, okay, we had a story problem, and it said you spent $44 to purchase two, so make sure we understand that, two of the least expensive tickets. Okay, they're giving us the least. You bought two of them though. Each ticket you purchased was the same price. Okay, so we bought two. It was $44. They're the same price, so that makes them $22 a ticket. The range of the ticket prices is $55. How much was the most expensive? Well, so we're saying most expensive ticket, right? We don't know. So let's just put an X there. There's our variable. We don't know what the most expensive ticket was, but we know how to set up the formula for range. We know most expensive minus least expensive. That's our next number. Minus least gives us the range. Well, let's plug in the information we know. We don't know the most expensive, but we do know now the least expensive. That's $22. We bought two of them. They were $44, but they're the same price. So 22 plus 22 is 44. Now we know the range. I believe the range, again, let's go back, it was 55. So now that's what we do know. Now this is a really simple then algebraic problem here. We're going to solve for x. So we're going to take this, right? We're going to move it over here. So that's just 55 plus 22 equals x. X equals 77. So we could say the most expensive ticket, $77. Okay, some of you maybe could just do that in your head too. But if you want to set it up in our algebraic formula, that's what we could have been doing there. Okay, number 13, our last one for yesterday's homework was speed limit. Again, the greatest speed limit was 65. I believe, if I'm saying this right, yeah, and the least was 45. No, sorry, 40. I do not have my glasses on. Yep, 65 minus 40, that would give you the 25. So that's 25 miles per hour. Okay, so there we go. There's the answers to those questions. Now, this was Monday's video. You learned how to do these things. You had Monday's work. Again, I want to see that on Thursday, on Zoom day. But you should have had that done on Tuesday so that now you can check your answers with me. Just doing the answers and putting them on your paper without doing it first yourself is really shortchanging your own brain, your own thought process. So make sure that you're doing it, you're trying it on your own, and then you're checking it the next day. Then save that, make sure you have it so you can show it to me on Thursday. Okay, now this is what I want you to do today because you're going to do a little more work with this. So we're going to stay on that same page. We're going to stay on page 322. We are going to now look at numbers 15, 16, and 17, and we are going to do them together. So I'm going to go through this one more time with you, and then I'm going to assign you number 18. I'm going to add a little more to it. So I will tell you what you need to do for number 18. Okay. So pause the video if you don't have your books open. I want you to get your books open to page 322. I want you following along on numbers 15, 16, and 17. Okay, so do that and then be ready to go. Okay, on number 15, let's go before it and read though. It says 19 water samples were taken, so we know there's 19 pieces of data from a river. The number of organisms counted in each sample is shown in the dot plot. Okay, so we're going to look to the right, there's that dot plot. Okay, so we see that there's a 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So the number of organisms counted. So we know that in a sample, 0 organisms were counted 4 times. They didn't see any organisms. Then we look at number 1. We already can see our mode. 1 is shooting up there. It's the highest. Okay, so we can see our mode. And then we see that 2 came up, and then 3, and then there was a sample that had 4 organisms. So we see that 4, that did happen. Okay, so number 15 is asking us, what do the numbers represent? Well, let's go back. The number of organisms counted in each sample is shown in the dot plot. So what do the numbers represent? They represent the number of organisms in a sample. So you take a sample and they're looking to see, okay, how many organisms can we find? Well, at times they're finding 0, then they're finding 1. They found 1, that was the mode, then 2, then 3, then 4. Now, so number 15, we could answer it this way, the number of organisms in a sample. Now, number 16 says, find the median and the mode. Well, I already told you the mode. The mode, and when you looked at it, you might have spotted it really fast. Number 1, obviously it has the most dots. Okay, now we need to find the median, and I also want us to find the mean. Okay, let's find the mean also. Okay, well, I've done it, but I'm going to show it to you here on the board. So if I was going to set this up and I'm going to find the median, remember I need to go from least to greatest. So I need to put my zeros down because there were 4 times that they found 0 organisms. This was each a piece of data. One time they found 0, another time they found 0, another time they found 0, and another time they found 0. Well, now remember, 1 is our mode, and they found 1 how many times? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, what, 7 times? Okay, so we'd have 7 ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so we have 7 of those. Okay, now 2, it looked like they found 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. So 1, 2, 4, 5. Okay, so 5 2s. Then there were 2 3s, a 3, and a 3, and then there was a 4. Okay, so now I've just put the data in order from least to greatest, and we know already our mode was 1. We're looking now for a mean, the average, and we're looking for the median. I'm making you do the mean because I want you to know how to do this, get the hang of this. Okay, if I add up all my information, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 1, 1, 7. Okay, and I added all this up. You should have come up with 27. Now, how many pieces of data are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. There are 19 pieces of data. Okay, I'm going to take 27, I'm going to divide it by 19. If I do that, I should have come up with 1.42. Okay, so I'm just taking my 27, this decimal, I'm going to go, and it should be 1.42. Okay, so that's my mean, that's my average of all those numbers. I got to include my zeros, that was all data. It just, when you're adding them up, it's obviously 0. Okay, now, there was 19 pieces of data, so we know that that's odd, so there's going to be a perfect middle. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so let's go right here and circle it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, 9, 9, perfect middle. That makes that 19. So 1 is our median. Okay, our mode, what they wanted us to find was 1. Our median, what they wanted us to find was 1. But we also found a mean 1.42. Okay, they're all pretty close there, but just another thing that can be asked of us to find from these charts. Okay, number 16 we did. Number 17, why might you not want to use the mean to describe the data? Okay, we just found the mean, 1.42. It's a little off of our mode and our median. Well, the reason we might not use the mean is that this 4 probably skewed it a little bit. So we would probably not use our mean on this one because the data item 3 and 4 did not occur often, but it's going to affect the mean. Okay, there was only 1 4, and there were 4 times they found 0 organisms. But because that's a pretty, bigger number than 0, it skewed our mean a little bit. So our mean is a little higher than our mode and our median. So that's maybe why you wouldn't use your mean on this one. Every time we're analyzing data, we just kind of have to think through the scenarios and think through these numbers and what's happening. That's why we really want to understand and grasp this whole idea of outliers and how that affects our means, and just kind of keep that in mind as we're analyzing data. Okay, now this is what I want you to do today. You guys are going to work on number 18. Now, this is what you're going to add to it, so I want you to listen carefully. You're going to A, make a frequency table and a dot plot of the quiz scores. To the right is a box and it has quiz scores. You're going to take those and you're going to make a frequency table and you're going to make a dot plot. Then you're going to go to letter B, and it says, use the frequency table or dot plot to identify any outliers. Which display did you use? Explain your choice. Okay, so then I want you to do that part. Now, the last part I want you to do, so we're going to put, like, let's say a letter C in there. And that is from your dot plot or your frequency chart, use either one. From your data there, I want you to find the mean, the median, and the mode. So I want you to find those three things from that information. Okay, so I want you to be able to tell me what's the mean, the median, and the mode. And then I will go over that. Okay, the last little part of your homework, you're going to just do questions 20 through 24 there at the bottom. And that's a little bit of test prep and mixed review. So 20 through 24. Okay, I'll put that in my email. And then you will want to have this done by Wednesday. I'll be going over this with you on Wednesday, and then we're going to start the next lesson, and that is called a box and whisker plot. So then we will be starting that one. All right. Have a great afternoon, great day, and I will hopefully be seeing all of you on Zoom this afternoon. Okay, talk to you later. Bye-bye.